Matthew Mungai is a freshman here at Jenks High School, and he competes in debate, mock trial, TSA, and academic team. He also serves as treasurer for student council. In his talk, he argues that human attention has been transformed into a commodity, quietly costing us our lives, and asks what would it look like to finally break free. Through his presentation, he offers a simple framework for reclaiming our focus and ultimately our lives. Please welcome Matthew Mungai to the stage.
Once upon a time, the town of Hamlin was plagued with rats. They tried and tried again to get rid of them, but to no avail. One day, a strange man came along. He made the bold claim that he and all people could take the rats away in exchange for payment. The people took him up on his offer. He did exactly as he promised, luring the rats away by playing a magical tune on his flute. The rats followed him into the river and drowned to their death. Not a great day for them. But when the man returned to collect his payment, he was shocked when they refused. Enraged, he took his flute, which had once taken away all the problems of the town, the rats, and played a new melody, this time for the town's children. They followed him, and just like the rats, towards the mountain, and never returned. This is a chilling tale, and many of you likely remember hearing it as a child. But today, the Pied Piper isn't a man with a flute, it's a corporation with an algorithm. And guess what his melody is? Whatever keeps us scrolling the longest. We modestly click, scroll, and consume, completely unaware of what we're exchanging. Because in our world, attention isn't something we give, it's a form of power, and everyone wants a piece. And that is my concern. Our attention today is being turned into a commodity. Think about it. David Yankelovich, a social scientist, estimated that the average American sees 5,000 advertisements a day. That's 5,000 times when a paying company taught us to focus, even for a split second. That amounts to just over 200 an hour, or 1 every 20 seconds. So today, I'm going to take you through the story the way the piper led the children out of the town. First, we'll see how the music starts, how companies, platforms, and algorithms draw our attention before we even realize it. Then, we'll trace our path into the mountains, where that attention gets pulled deeper and deeper. And finally, we'll face the moment the children never thought, a way back, a way to break the spell and reclaim our focus before it all vanishes for good. Because if they can control our attention, they can control us. Let's think back 20 years ago, the year 2002. The internet was still young, social media barely existed, and most of our lives were still offline. But this was also the beginning of something much bigger, the digital age. According to the University of Southern California, this was the year that the amount of digital data overtook the amount of analog data. Or in other words, the moment the piper picked up his flute and played a melody that we couldn't resist. Let's think about that for a second. For thousands of years, everything humans knew was either written or spoken. You couldn't just Google how to make fire. That's actually, make fire. If you couldn't figure it out, stay cold. Let's skip ahead just 5 years ago, to 2007. 94% of humanity's data is now stored in digital form, amounting to over 200 exabytes. That number probably doesn't make that sense, so let me put it into context. That's something like 16 million years of video. We thought we were entering a new age of freedom and innovation, but the more we upload our world, the more we outsource our focus. This shift created a vacuum. In that vacuum, those corporations saw an opportunity. They realized that if they could control the flow of information, they could control the flow of attention. So, they created platforms, not to inform or educate, but to engage and addict. They turned our clicks, scrolls, and swipes into data that can be sold to advertisers. That's the moment when attention stopped being a reflex and became a resource. Meta sells your social life. Google sells your curiosity, and Apple sells your habits. They all want a piece of your mind, and they auctioned it off to the highest bidder. And boom, attention became the hottest commodity since Bitcoin. Moreover, a study by Common Sense Media in 2021 surveyed over 1,300 American kings and queens, and their findings are disturbing. They found that the average screen time for this age group was 8.5 hours every single day. Over 1/3 of the day was from addictive routines, crowd sleep, or replaced real connection. That's 8 hours less for body and family, or doing stuff that's actually productive. This is all painting a picture of a generation that no longer owns their attention. Another study by Columbia University in June of 2025 studied 4,000 children 18 and older. And they found that 40% of them show signs of social media addiction. And I don't mean casual scrolling. The kids confess they couldn't focus on chores, homework, or even conversations without thinking about or using social media. You see, our adolescent years are crucial for developing identity, discipline, and character. If attention can be captured that early, it doesn't just shape habits now, but for life, turning kids into lifelong consumers. That's the corporation's game plan. Hope the children are minds are forming because shaping their attention young means determining who will become. And the reason it works is simple. Our brains haven't evolved as fast as technology. So when we start scrolling, our caveman brains are completely overstimulated. And lefty professor psychiatry at Harvard built this point in her book Dopamine Nation, which covers the science of addictions and overconsumption. She finds that social media activity stimulates the production of dopamine and oxytocin, chemicals that typically drug ancient humans to find food and shelter. Now we get that same rush from Instagram Reels. We're being hijacked. Our brains are being rewired to create constant stimulation. And don't tell me, I didn't put any time. That's exactly accurate. While you think you're choosing, they're turning your mind into a marketplace. Okay. I've been standing up here between fingers for at least 6 minutes, but I'm not instant either. I come to realize that I want to handle children following the piper into the mountain as well. I mean, this is all coming from a guy who spends 7 hours a day on his phone. 7 hours! At that point, it's a full-time job, except no benefits and no paid time off. Probably one of my worst financial decisions ever. And the worst part is, I didn't even know what's happening. One day I was in control, and the next I was checking my phone before I even got out of bed. I'm not weak, I'm just been conditioned. It's almost like a slot machine's been wired into my skull. And I know I'm not alone. Every single one of us likely has our own battle of social media addiction, raging as we speak. What can we possibly do to stop this? Well, attention is like muscle, and we can train it back. Bodybuilders don't get jacked after one workout. If they did, I'd be ripped, and clearly I'm not. We've got to rebuild our focus, one rep at a time. And no, I'm not saying that we all delete social media and live as if we're making woods. It's way simpler than that. You've got to focus. FOCUS. Or as I like to call it, steps to stop following that darn Pied Piper. F, filtered inputs. Find value in silence and celebrate stillness. O, own your time. Set digital boundaries. I mean, if your phone's tracking you, you might as well track it back. C, connect intentionally. Prioritize human interaction. When you hang out, don't just exist together. Be together. U, unplug regularly. Pick up a book instead of your phone. Trade the screen for the scenery. S, stay self-aware. Notice when you're following the piper. Check your screen time. Reflect on it. By doing all this, we can, unlike the children and family, break free from our digital Pied Pipers. Because when we reclaim our focus, we reclaim our lives. I leave you with this. In our world, attention has been turned into a commodity. Something that can be bought, sold, and measured by the second. Just 20 years ago, this kind of control was not possible. But now, every notification, every reel is perfectly finding designed to keep us hooked. It's easy to look at the numbers and lose hope. But we aren't powerless. We can still take back control. When I look at all of you, I'm hopeful that we, rather than go down as a generation that auctioned off their minds, will be remembered as the ones who decided to fight back. Because if attention is the newest currency, it's time to stop giving it